Hello everybody and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Brittany and on this channel we talk all about plants. And today I did receive some plant mail, so I figured we could open that up together and then talk a little bit about the genus of plant that is in this box, some of the other ones that I have in my collection, and what I have been doing to keep them happy and thriving. So if you are into plants and into plant mail and into plant care, stick around and let's open some plant mail. Okay, so I have not opened this. This could be a fail or it could be a gigantic hit. This is from California Tropics. I am curious to see if you can guess what genus of plant is in this box. It is one that I've really been liking lately and really been getting into. So I'm excited. The packing slip, it says the correct name, so hopefully the correct plant was sent. I've gotten the wrong plant before, so not necessarily from these guys. Let's see. Okay, that is what that looks like. Let's get some of this tape off. It's just got those little peanuts in here. We've been pretty lucky where I am, and the weather has been fairly decent recently. We are getting some summer-like weather next week. I am in Wyoming, so summer-like weather is like we're getting to 70. So I'm pretty excited about that. I can see a leaf. All right, let me crack into this really quick. How has the weather been where you are? I know last week it was freezing cold here and we got snow. Next week it's going to be in the 70s, so it is just that weird time of year. There we go. Okay, looks good. It's always a little bit scary when you're cracking into a plant. Get all these peanuts off. So here is this guy. There. So this is the Hoya New Guinea Ghost, and I got the 4-inch. There is no info in here, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of research, but I have kind of been obsessed with Hoya lately. And so in this video today, we are gonna talk about some of the Hoya in my collection and how they've been doing in my care since I got them. And some things that I've learned, some like trial and error type tricks with Hoya. And then lastly, we'll be doing a couple Hoya chores, a little bit of watering, replanting, and just having like a whole Hoya day since we got this new exciting plant in. We're gonna make it a whole day of Hoya. Get this off so we can look at her. There, cute. Make sure there's no buggies. Looks good. I've never had an issue with pests, especially on a new plant. What about you guys? It looks good. It really does. Okay, sorry. There you go. You can see her now. There. So I like this, and I really wanted this because I don't have a long, like elongated silver Hoya like this. That's that really light silvery green. I'll show you what I do have. I've got a little baby one that's kind of silvery, but I wanted a large one. And I was doing some research and came across this guy and thought it was so cool, especially as it gets bigger. So I'm excited to have this in my collection, excited to get it starting to be moving and grooving. And this being this early spring season, I think is the perfect time to get this acclimated, get it introduced into my collection, and hopefully grow this boy big and tall and strong. So stick around, let's talk Hoya. Let's talk Hoya Care. Okay, so we currently moved. We are now in my entryway. So we've got this door and then this little entry cove. And I have been so obsessed with Hoya that I made a whole Hoya shelf in my entryway right when you walk into my home. So let me show you what that kind of looks like here. So as soon as you walk into my house, this is what you see. Excuse all the shoes, but I wanted to show you guys this Hoya entryway shelf that I've created. I'm just digging them, and I think that I have a really good collection of different types of Hoya that it works when they're all together. So I'll give you a little close up of what we're looking at. So that is what you see right when you walk into my home. We're going to go through some of these, talk a little bit about Care, and then talk about my top favorites here in just a minute. Okay, so the first plant that I wanted to show you is this beautiful Hoya Croniana Super Silver. And this was the other one that I was talking about that is silvery, but it's got these tiny leaves, and you can focus. There we go. You can see that the silver is very different between the two. This is more kind of green, and then I think with more light, it gets more silver. But this Croniana Super Silver, it has these really dainty, like teardrop shaped leaves. And it is just like so adorable. I love this plant. This is the only tiny leaf Hoya that I have, and I love it. It just is always shooting out new leaves, and the leaves are so tiny and dainty when they first come in. You can see, let's see if I can get it to focus right here. Focus right here. That tiny little leaf, it's so stinking cute when it first comes in. And I did have this going up a trellis while it was sitting in that entryway, but I kind of want this one to be dangling, especially for the summer seasons, because I tend to hang plants up in my windows because we have the blinds drawn a lot more or open a lot more in the summertime. We aren't trying to conserve heat like we are in the winter. So I think I'm gonna go down with it. And it's a little goofy right now because it's been used to being up. Excuse me. But I'm thinking I'm gonna replant it, put it on a hanging pot. This is still in the original pot, original soil that I had gotten it in. And I know for a fact that Hoya like a really well draining soil. So I'm going to get it into a really well draining soil. This tropical potting soil, it has like cocoa coir, cocoa fiber, bark, worm castings, clay, limestone, perlite, charcoal, so on and so forth. Very, very chunky. And I think that it will be good for it. I'm an overwaterer. I have a watering schedule on my phone. I look at it every single day, see who's been over a few days, and then I go check them by either putting my finger down in them, or if it is I'm taking this out of the pot right now. If it is a plant that I know, I can usually tell if it needs water just by lifting the pot and feeling the weight of the pot. So that is typically what I do every night after I've made dinner, after I've gotten the kids wound down. I will look at my notes app and check, and then go and just start feeling pots. So I'm not worried about this getting underwatered. Like I said, I'm a chronic overwaterer. There we go. Got most of that soil off of these roots. I It's not like a huge root ball for the size of the actual plant itself, which is okay. That could be a sign, heads up, that you're overwatering and you're losing some roots, and it can also be a sign that you are underwatering and it's all kind of like drying out. Or it could just be a small root ball for the plant. So I'm gonna get this in here and then I will show you guys what that new setup looks like, the new hanging pot. I think you're gonna think it's really cute. Let me get this taken care of, get it all set up, and I will show you where its new home is going to be. Okay, here's where I put that. Sorry about the horrible lighting, but it is in my great big window in my plant room. And it's gonna get a ton of sun. It looks really cute hanging there. I am so excited to see what it does as it starts to grow this summer and get really dangling and long and beautiful. Okay, I had to go take a little dinner break and now the light is really weird. So we are gonna wrap this up. We're gonna talk about one more Hoya and then I will pick this up tomorrow with the rest of my favorite Hoya. So the last one we're gonna talk about today is the Hoya Crimson Queen. The crimson, you can either have the queen or the princess. And the way that you tell them apart is the queen has the white variegation on the outer edge and the dark in the middle, and the princess is the opposite. So it'll have the dark on the outside and the variegation in the middle. So this one is about a year old and it's kind of been a slow grower, but it's recently really picked up. And all of the new growth you can see are these all white leaves. So I really want to talk about this, what I've been doing to get it like this, and kind of the goods and the bads of the all white. So at times these variegated plants will spit out all white leaves. Oftentimes, and I think in my case, it has to do with just this plant gets a ton of light. It's constantly getting 6 to 8 hours of light a day, and that creates this high variegation. Now in this plant, it can be okay. In some other plants, the entire stem, the entire vine will die off because it's kind of a flop. There's no photosynthesis that is happening on white leaves because, as we know, it needs that green to photosynthesize. So at this point, I'm holding on to this. Sometimes they will get a new node that then will start to variegate again with the green. And sometimes they will just continue to spit white leaves and survive. Other times, these white leaves will just kind of go away. And so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. I could back it away from the window and hopefully it will start to re-variegate with the green. Or I could cut the bottom of where all the white leaves are growing and hope that that new growth then starts to variegate again. At this point, I'm really happy with how it looks. I've had no issues with it. We're gonna hold on to it just the way it is. The other thing I really like about this plant is when the new leaves come in, because I have it in such high light, they come in really pink. And then as they start to fade, they fade to that creamy white color. So the ones that are all white, they start as completely pink and they are adorable. You can see here, this newest variegated leaf on this other vine that isn't all white still has, let's see if I can catch it, some of this pink there. So you can see it will eventually fade into that all creamy white on that side, but they start pink and I think it's so cute. The more light you give it, the pinker they'll be, and they will also hold on to that pink a little bit longer. This white leaf here, this all white one, is the newest one. Catch. And it's got that pink on it as well. So the Crimson Queen, the Crimson Princess, I highly recommend. I love this plant. I think it is a beauty. We're just gonna see what happens with these all white leaves and then make the decision from there. If you have experience, like mine held on. It just produces white leaves out of this one vine and it's totally fine. I would love to hear that. If you have the other side, I would like to hear it less. But if yours are all kind of dying off, let me know as well. So we're gonna end it here with the sun glaring in my face. Tomorrow I'm gonna pick back up with, I have a Hoya Care variegated, a Hoya Wayetii tricolor, a huge Hoya publicalis, which is my #1 favorite, and a Hoya oblivata splash, which are all really great plants. If you want a little information about those or just to see how beautiful they are, come back tomorrow for Hoya Day 2. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and I will see you tomorrow.